Hello everyone, welcome to Lukman IS. Today we are going to have the Hindu analysis of 11th October 2020. So let us see which are the important articles in today's The Hindu newspaper. For mains purpose and for prelims purpose we have segregated them. Yes, two important, let's say, pages again on Sunday's newspaper, that is FAQ page and science and technology page. Let us see which are these important article for our examination. Yes, genetic scissors and rewriting the code of life. We know that in last 1 week important development regarding science and technology is that Nobel prizes for physics, chemistry and medicine, or we can say biology, they were announced, and important aspect for our, let's say, chemistry related what we can say Nobel prize and the technology for which it has been awarded, that is very important for our examination. That is gene editing or biotechnology, we can say that CRISPR-Cas9 technology. So yes, these two women scientists, we can say that given the Nobel prize for chemistry. So what is important for our examination is that gene editing technology and its applications, and we can say that concerns. So three aspects: what is this gene editing technologies, then applications and concerns. So we can say that these three aspects are important for GS3 science and technology as well as essay. We can expect essay on gene editing technology because yes, in previous year they have specifically asked essay on artificial intelligence technology. So we can expect such kind of, let's say, revolutionary technologies which can change the let's say nature of, we can say that kind of medicines or evolution of such kind of diseases and how to prevent or eliminate diseases. We can say that these technologies are some kind of revolutionary in that aspect. So yes, this article completely gives picture about this gene editing technology, CRISPR-Cas9. So that becomes important for our examination. Yes, scientists Jennifer Doudna and Emmanuel Carpentier, they won the prize. We can say that one of the gene technology's sharpest tool, CRISPR-Cas9 genetic scissors. What is this technology? We have to understand that also. Yes, much like what Microsoft Word does for writing, CRISPR-Cas9 system allows for adding, altering and deleting the genomic code of living beings. So yes, this technology, COVID-19 pandemic has brought to the fore the importance of memory cells which can quickly reproduce or produce relevant antibodies to neutralize repeated infection by the virus. So yes, in our ED lecture we have talked about that also. And memory cells, T cells, and we can say that these T cells, memory T cells, very much important to have, let's say, adaptive immune system in human beings. And for that purpose, at present the COVID-19 pandemic that is going on, the importance of such kind of memory T cells is very much in news at present. So we can say that similarly the CRISPR are part of bacteria's immunology system, or we can say ancient immune system that help them in recognizing threatening viruses. When they sense the lurking virus, the bacteria produce customized RNA which necessary to translate a DNA into protein gleaned from CRISPR libraries. This also contains Cas9, that is CRISPR associated gene that used to produce enzymes such as Cas9. These enzymes, the Cas9 being the particularly popularly one, can be used to chop DNA of virus and destroy them. Okay, so basically this CRISPR are, what you can say that they translate, or let's say they are part of bacteria's immune system, or let's say ancient old immune system, and from time to time they, let's say, help to recognize the threatening viruses. ठीक है, तो ये बैक्टीरिया के इम्यून सिस्टम जो होते हैं, बैक्टीरिया को भी वायरसेस थ्रेटन करते हैं और किल करते हैं. सो दैट्स व्हाई what is important here is we have to understand the mechanism that is that the bacteria is having against the viruses. that mechanism is directly reproduced in the laboratory here. Okay, yes. So Emmanuel Carpentier, who is now director of this Institute of Infection in Berlin, had studied the Streptococcus pyogenes, a species of bacteria known to be associated with range of illnesses such as pharyngitis, tonsillitis, scarlet fever. Okay. While studying this, she discovered a previously unknown molecule, trans-RNA. Her work showed that trans-RNA is a part of bacteria's ancient immune system. So CRISPR-Cas that disarms the viruses by cleaving their DNA. So yes, her study, then later on she collaborated with Jennifer Doudna, to, let's say, have such kind of scissors, genetic scissors artificially prepared in laboratory. Okay, so that helped. Other genome editing systems like Talon's zinc finger nucleases can do similar job, but several users consider this new tool CRISPR-Cas9 more adaptable and easier to use. So these are also gene editing technologies. If it comes in your prelims examination, what are these technologies, then you have to understand or know about that also. So what are the applications of these technologies, gene editing technologies till now, especially CRISPR-9? So CRISPR-Cas9. Earlier this year, the person with hereditary blindness became the first to have CRISPR-Cas9 based therapy directly injected into her body. At the same time, 2 patients with beta thalassemia and one with sickle cell disease would no longer require blood transfusions after their bone marrow stem cells were edited using CRISPR technology. This year, CSIR IGIB, okay, so yes, Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology in Delhi developed the COVID-19 testing kit nicknamed Feluda test after fictional Bengali detective based on this CRISPR-Cas9 system. So yes, this is very much important, let's say, application here regarding COVID-19. Research is also underway for treating complex diseases like cancer, heart diseases, mental illness and HIV infection also. What are the concerns here? There are some ethical concerns involved here, like misuse of technology, or we can say that the natural evolution process that is being that can be tinkered here with unknown consequences. Okay. So for example, the most controversial application of this technology was in 2018 when Chinese researchers announced that he had used it to create genome edited twins Lula and Nana in vitro fertilization. He used the gene scissors on the children when they were embryos to edit the genes CCR5 that in its modified form would ostensibly protect the babies from HIV infection. ठीक है, तो HIV uses we can say that virus CCR5 to infect the cells, and modified genes would shut the doors against such an entry. However, such kind of infection has, let's say, protection from infection has failed. While he broke the number of medical rules, what is particularly controversial is that specific mutations that would supposedly protect the children from HIV were not achieved. There were host of other unintended mutations too. So ये actually unintended, unforeseen consequences, mutations because of such kind of let's say genetic changes that is very harmful, or we can say that can prove threat in future. Okay, some important facts like how many women got Nobel Prize in chemistry, or we can say overall Nobel Prizes. So you can see here from 2001 to 19 interval there has been maximum number of women laureates, that is 24 as compared to just 11 in previous 2 decades, we can say 1981 to 2000, या फिर 7 from earlier 2 decades. So we can say that there is increasing number of women receiving Nobel Prizes. At the same time, only one woman, Marie Curie, has been honored twice with 1903 Nobel Prize in Physics and 1911 Nobel Prize in Chemistry. So both physics and chemistry she received Nobel Prize. some important facts for prelims examination. So yes, such kind of question we can attempt here, even for take input for our let's say essay. Explain the working mechanism of CRISPR-Cas9 technology in gene editing and give its applications. Okay. Fine. Moving on to next article, follow SOP in let's say crimes against women. So yes, in the backdrop of recent Hathras incident in UP, we can say that the Ministry of Home Affairs, Union government has issued an advisory to all states regarding mandatory action by police in crimes against women. So what the advisory says about this? So ministry reiterated that the Indian Evidence Act provides that statement written or verbal by a person who is dead shall be treated as relevant fact in investigation. So this is important aspect here. We can say that regarding the case, Hathras case, wherein the UP police and the role played by UP police has come to the question. Even the Supreme Court in let's say January 2020 order directed that particular statement when being offered as a daring declaration and satisfies all requirements of judicial scrutiny cannot be discarded merely because it has not been recorded before the, or let's say by a magistrate or the police officer that did not obtain the attestation by any person present. Fine. MHA also said that section 173 of CRPC provides for completion of investigation within the 2 months, and for monitoring of such kind of investigation there is a dedicated online portal called Investigation Tracking System for Sexual Offences that can be used exclusively for let's say by the law enforcement agency. It reminded the states regarding compulsory registration of FIR in cases of cognizable offences, including let's say the sexual violence against women. Section 166 of IPC provides for punishment to the public servant for failure to record FIR in relation to cognizable offences, including cases of sexual assault. Okay. So basically it is saying that the states should focus on investigating lapses in the matters of women's safety, and let's say FIR should be filed in the cognizable offences, especially the offences related to women. Fine. Okay. So yes, these are important points. We should know SOPs. हमारे लिए क्यों important है ये? हमारे लिए important है that basic information. Suppose there is case study in ethics regarding, suppose a woman has been, let's say sexually assaulted, and she comes to the police station, and wherein you are the in charge of that police station. So how will you approach? What are the basic SOPs in front of you? तो basic SOPs are this one. So आपने FIR फाइल करना चाहिए, आपने ये जो 24 आवर्स के विद इन जो है उनका मेडिकल चेकअप होना चाहिए, एंड वी कैन से दैट all these things should be what you can say, her statement should be let's say noted, and that should be used for further investigation. So yes, all these things are SOPs, standard operating procedures. So आपको ये basic पता होना चाहिए अगर case study भी आता है ethics में. Fine. Okay. Yes. So moving on, RBI appeals to Supreme Court to allow NPA classification. So what Reserve Bank of India has said in an, let's say appeal to Supreme Court, that to let banks classify loans as non-performing, saying that a ban imposed to help borrowers in COVID-19 pandemic could greatly harm the nation's financial system. So what is the background here? Background is that the court granted stay last month responding to plea filed by an Indian optician, later joined by wide range of borrowers whose income or revenue was hit by COVID-19 pandemic. So moratorium जो था उसके regarding ये actually बोल रहा है कि that the borrowings that happened let's say in the COVID-19 period, that should not be classified as NPA or non-performing assets by the banks. So basically banks are now saying that that should be classified as NPA, otherwise what will happen, there will be weakening of financial system, and that is not good. Okay. So even the government is of the same view that to help the borrowers with their pandemic related stress, RBI has let the banks offer moratorium on the loan payments up to 6 months and permitted one time restructuring of accounts. So recently हमने ये discuss कर चुके हैं जब ये RBI ने announce किया था. The government told the court last week that it would waive the compound interest on loans up to 20 million rupees under the separate COVID-19 support plan in a move that will bring relief to millions of borrowers. Okay, so yes, the further developments will have follow up on this regarding, because tomorrow there will be a ruling by Supreme Court on this issue. Yes, some important issues related to prelims examination. Yes, from now onwards we need to focus on, let's say, mapping related issues, and we can say environment related issues more from the current affairs, and we need to go into details of these topics. Okay, so whenever any let's say national park, tiger reserve or any wildlife sanctuary that is in news in the Hindu newspaper, at least we will go into details of that. Okay, and that has become very important when we look at this year's prelims examination question paper, and that's why it becomes important for us to study such kind of topics. Okay, shrinking spaces for winged visitor cause for concern. So yes, relevance of the topic, or let's say context of the topic, it is talking about, let's say, World Migratory Bird Day was celebrated by experts, and they came together to discuss ways to protect the lesser flamingos in Mumbai. Okay, so yes, it is talking about how the area for migratory birds in India is shrinking because of developmental projects, especially it is talking about Mumbai region. So yes, the Thane Creek Flamingo Sanctuary is the last refuge for 1.5 lakh birds, which is concentrated here now. So we can see that Thane Creek Flamingo Sanctuary. So near this sanctuary, there is a proposed construction of Mumbai Trans Harbour Link 22-kilometer sea bridge cuts across the mangroves and mudflats to Navi Mumbai. So what is the location here? We can see here, this is the Mumbai Island, and this is the Thane Creek. Okay, here Thane is there, Navi Mumbai is here. Okay, Uran is here. Now this is the proposed link. You can see proposed MTHL road link. Okay, and this is Thane Creek. Now because of this road link, what will happen? Those migratory birds coming in the Thane Creek Sanctuary, okay, Flamingo Sanctuary, their number will reduce. This is what it is talking about. At the same time, this Savory Bay, so this is also one of the region, we can say that mangrove region, as well as the important site for these migratory birds in the winter season, we can say that is hampering. So those who are having geography optional, they can use this case study for prelims examination, location of this Thane Creek, or let's say Flamingo Sanctuary. So which among the following is, we can say that such kind of question is being asked, which among the following wildlife sanctuary is specifically designed for protection of flamingos? So they will give different kinds of names there, and we need to know that Thane Creek Sanctuary, specifically Thane Creek Flamingo Sanctuary name goes. Okay, so आपके notes में इसके बाद में ऐसे तरीके से आपने तैयार करने हैं आपके notes. Okay, fine. So yes, this is important for prelims. Next article, scientists welcome these winged infiltrators. Okay, so why the name infiltrators? Because these species are coming from Pakistan region and China region into India. Okay, so which are these species? Like butterfly Spelia zebra, found in Dungarpur district of Rajasthan, far south of known for its habitat POK, and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Punjab province of Pakistan. So Pakistan से वो India में migrate हो चुके हैं कुछ species. And dragonfly Astrasamis rilsi was recorded in southern Arunachal Pradesh Namdapha Tiger Reserve. Okay, previously they were known for let's say their habitat of this park in China's this province. Okay, Gujao province. So basic information, again some additional information here. There are total 3 tiger reserves in Arunachal Pradesh. Namdapha, which is easternmost tiger reserve of India, Kamlang and Pakhe or Pakhui tiger reserve, which has been already asked by UPSC prelims examination in prelims examination. Okay, so zebra skipper has added to the richness of Rajasthan's orchid belt, comprising Fulwari Ki Nal Wildlife Sanctuary and Sita Mata Wildlife Sanctuary. So what is important for our examination again? Yes, this basic information. There are 3 tiger reserves in Arunachal Pradesh. उनके नाम, उनके locations पता होने चाहिए. And then these 2 wildlife sanctuaries in Rajasthan. तो उनका location भी हमें जानना है. So yes, see these maps. So these are the tiger reserves in India. Directly पूरा मैप दिया गया है. यहाँ पे आप अरुणाचल प्रदेश में देख सकते हैं. This is the easternmost नामदाफा and पक्खे, and उसी के बाजू में हम कामलांग देख सकते हैं. जो 3 एक्चुअली टाइगर रिजर्व्स है यहाँ पे. कामलांग दिया नहीं है बट यहाँ पे है. कहाँ पर है? अरुणाचल के इस साइड में, मतलब वेस्टर्न साइड में. ईस्टर्न साइड में नामदाफा. फाइन, ओके. Now what is important from Rajasthan? You can see here protected areas of Rajasthan. See national parks of Rajasthan, wildlife sanctuary of Rajasthan. So फुलवा की नाल यहाँ पे दिख रहा है आपको, wildlife sanctuary फुलवा की नाल, and सीता माता wildlife sanctuary here locations. Okay, so these are important. Like desert national park is there, so this is important for our let's say further additional information. There is Ranthambore tiger reserve or national park is there at that point. Kevladev national park is there. Sariska national park and tiger reserve is there. Okay, so this basic information or we can say additional information, national parks तो सारे पता होने चाहिए. तो हर एक स्टेट का हमें इस तरीके से एक मैप लेना है और सारे प्रोटेक्टेड एरियाज स्टेट वाइज तैयार करने. फाइन, तो उसकी हम एक एडिशनल प्रिपरेशन हम कर सकते हैं उस तरीके से हमारे नोट्स में. फाइन, फ्रॉम टाइम टू टाइम विल टॉक अबाउट लाइक दिस. जैसे हमने अरुणाचल प्रदेश की बात की तो वैसे ही राजस्थान की बात की. बाद में जो आएंगे हम उसके बारे में बात करेंगे. फाइन, नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल, तमिलनाडु डिफेंड्स मुल्ला पेरियार डैम पैनल. Again earlier also we had talked about Mulla Periyar Dam, but basic information about Mulla Periyar Dam is that it is masonry gravity dam on Periyar river, or we can say that in Kerala, located in Kerala. So Periyar river or confluence of Mullayar Periyar rivers, वहाँ पे actually वो डैम बांधा गया है. Constructed between we can say that 1887 to 1895, more than century old dam, masonry dam है. Dam created the Periyar Tekkadi reservoir, from which the water was diverted eastward via tunnel to augment the small flow of Vaigai river. Now Vaigai river flows through Tamil Nadu. You can see here the map. This is Mulla Periyar Dam. See here, this is the reservoir, and now what happens is the tunnel is created and it enters to this Kambam valley like this, and here enters the water enters to this Vaigai dam and flows through Vaigai river. So yes, Vaigai river had less amount of flow, that's why the farmers in this region needed more water, and therefore such kind of irrigation plan or diversion of water from this river was, let's say, proposed more than century ago. However, what happens is here administration of dam is problem. Like dam is located in Kerala on the river Periyar, but operated and maintained by neighboring state Tamil Nadu. Now this has been the point of contention, bone of contention from between these two states, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं Tamil Nadu defends the Mulla Periyar dam panel. So basically the Tamil Nadu government has rebutted the allegations made in the Supreme Court that supervisory committee for Mulla Periyar dam abdicated its duty to evaluate safety and structure of water levels. So Kerala हमेशा allegations करता है, Tamil Nadu बोलता है नहीं नहीं हम सही कर रहे हैं. So basically what is important for our examination from geography and we can say that mapping perspective. तो ज्योग्राफी से हमें पता होना चाहिए कि मुल्ला पेरियार डैम जो है वो कौन सी रिवर पे कहाँ पे लोकेटेड है, केरला में लोकेटेड है, एंड यस हाउ इट इज एडमिनिस्टर्ड. सो सच काइंड ऑफ प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन क्वेश्चन कैन बी आस्क्ड. consider the following statements. The dam is built at the confluence of Mullayar Periyar River. Correct statement. Water from this reservoir is diverted eastward via tunnel to augment small flow of Kaveri River. No, Kaveri River is incorrect here. Vaigai River is correct. Fine. So second statement is incorrect. Though the dam is located in Tamil Nadu, but it is separated, operated and maintained by the neighboring state of Kerala. Yes, this is incorrect here. This is also incorrect. Rather, this should be exchanged. So it is located in Kerala, but administered, or we can say operated and maintained by Tamil Nadu. So only one is correct statement here. Fine. Okay. Moving on. चाइना प्रोटेस्ट अगेंस्ट यूएस नेवी मिशन इन साउथ चाइना सी. ये बार बार हम देखते हैं कि साउथ चाइना सी में यूएस जो है बार बार एंट्री करता रहता है इन द नेम ऑफ वी कैन से दैट फ्रीडम ऑफ नेविगेशन ऑपरेशंस. Okay, however, what happens is China is being provoked because of such kind of freedom of navigation operations by USA. तो पिछले कुछ दिन पहले हमने देखा था कि सेम काइंड ऑफ इशू हुआ था. नाउ ऑल्सो द चाइना इज सेइंग दैट China said it dispatched ships and planes to track US guided missile destroyer John McCain as it passed near Chinese held islands in the South China Sea. So People's Liberation Army of China accused US warship of trespassing into Chinese territorial waters near the Paracel Islands called Jisa Islands by China. ये भी आपको पता होना चाहिए कि चाइना में क्या बोलते हैं उसको. So Jisa Island during the latest freedom of navigation missions by US Navy. Okay, so background, we need to know that almost 90% of South China Sea is claimed by China. 9- line, ये आपको दिखाई दे रहा है. This is called as 9- line, and because of this 9- line, China claims that this is the official we can say territory of China. So that's why it has some disputed claims with Vietnam, Taiwan, or we can say Brunei also, or Philippines. So yes, Philippines, it has, China has some kind of, let's say, territorial disputes like Paracel Islands. Location देख रहे हैं आप. So Paracel Islands, they are nearer to China, or we can say that Taiwan, as well as we can say here we can say, or we can say Vietnam. So there is a dispute among these three countries over these islands. At the same time, China has a dispute with Philippines over these Spratly Islands. Okay, fine. So this is even some background, like China ignored the 2016 arbitration ruling that invalidated most of its claims in the South China Sea. So China ignored that kind of arbitration council or tribunal ruling also. So that's why we can say that this becomes important for our prelims examination. Spratly Islands and Paracel Islands. Okay, why it is important for China? Because most of the let's say oil imports or trade that goes happens by the China to other countries goes through South China Sea. At the same time, there are also, we can say, reports of oil and natural gas reserves in South China Sea. So that becomes important, strategically located for China. That's why we can say that China is being so much aggressive in that region. Okay. Next, Navy to hold PASEX with US carrier. Now earlier also we can say that in July we had some kind of similar kind of exercise, passing exercise or passage exercise, PASEX जिसको बोला जाता है. With the US Navy Nimitz carrier strike group near Andaman and Nicobar Island. Now this is the background. In July 2020, similar kind of PASEX is now arranged with the USS Ronald Reagan on October 12, but this is going to be probably held off the Kochi in, we can say, Arabian Sea. This was held in Bay of Bengal near Andaman and Nicobar Island. Okay, but now this will be held off the Kochi, means we can say that Arabian Sea. Fine. So yes, these developments are very much important in terms of military level cooperation between India and USA. Similar kind of development recently we have seen on 25th September. For the first time, US Navy P-8A long range maritime patrol aircraft landed at Port Blair, Andaman and Nicobar Island for refueling purpose under bilateral logistic support agreement LEMOA between India and USA, that was signed in 2016. Fine. So these are the developments from today's newspaper. For further information on editorial discussion classes, ED classes, which are going to start as a new batch now after prelims examination, wherein in-depth analysis of mains related articles is done by Ansari sir and team. For further information regarding that course, you can contact Lukman IS. Thank you.